finance, investment, expansion, new sites, new stores. A series of choices, starting with the boardroom and ending with the housewife. The end of a cycle. The housewife with the ultimate power of decision. We know what she bought. We know what she spent. The items she might have bought aren't here. A great deal remains her secret. The purchases she almost made, the money she might have spent. Where will it go? It's her choice. New clothes, holidays, shoe repairs, or another food store. Why? Why not here? Why has she decided to spend her money elsewhere, perhaps with a competitor? What tipped the scales? What made the difference?
Those are certainly very important questions, and very difficult ones too. In Lever Brothers and Associates, we frequently find that skilled marketing research can help us with our difficult problems. We are big investors in research, and we accept that it has a significant part to play in our business. Our research, of course, is mainly concerned with the consumer, our customer, the British housewife. But we do have a continuous research program which is linked very closely with the retail trade. Just recently, our researchers surfaced with a series of reports which we thought were particularly interesting. They contained information which went beyond our own products, information which we thought would be valuable to the grocery trade. But the reports were rather limited in scope. They needed further development. And so we decided to ask a firm of outside independent consultants to take our reports, to analyze them in detail, and to expand them wherever necessary, and then to report back to us on their findings. The firm of consultants we chose was Merchandising and Marketing Development Limited. They have a very high reputation, and we knew they were well skilled in this particular field of operation. We've certainly been impressed with their work. So much so that we've asked them to make this film. And this film is, in fact, a film record of the final research findings. We believe it has something significant to say, and we believe it will be of vital interest to all managers concerned in running either retail or wholesale grocery businesses.
Well, you've heard from Len Hardy the problem he asked us to investigate. Fine, but it's one thing to pose the problem, quite another to get the answers. Not that we at Merchandising and Marketing Development are inexperienced in this area. On the contrary, we've tackled a wide variety of problems for the government, for manufacturing bodies, and for retailing organisations like your own. But each problem must be tackled individually. So how do we go about tackling this problem for Lever Brothers? Let me show you. First of all, we went to talk to people whose business is running supermarkets.
The chairman, J. Cohen, and the managing director, H. Kreitman, of Tesco, the retail group with the fastest growth rate in the grocery field.
We have no special favour for any particular brand. The consumer is the one that has to choose what she likes, and if she likes it, then the product is going to be a great success. We do all we can to promote it. We have promotions aimed at us every day. Our buyers, there's not a day goes by that we don't have at least half a dozen promotions to sell new products. And I can honestly say that we do our best to put these things on the market. But as always, it's the package, it's the quality, it's the product, and of course the price. And if we hit the right price and the quality is good, it helps the manufacturer, it helps the consumer, and it helps us. And this is the way that Tesco has been built up over the years.
We often have, I'm going to say, difficulties with manufacturers. This is not true. We argue with them. They indicate to us what they want to sell. We like to have the freedom after that in fixing the price that we sell them at. I think with our years of experience behind us, we know what price ticket is a good price ticket for that article.
A.S. Fortune, the group managing director of a leading member of SPAR, an international voluntary chain increasingly involved in supermarkets.
Space allocation is the economic fulcrum point of the whole of our operation. It's geared to do the following things: maximize the return on investment for the retailer, facilitate the shopping habits of the housewife, minimize the risk of out-of-stock position within the store, and finally, to present to the housewife the correct psychological layout of the store image itself. And I am quite certain that if we are going to succeed in the competitive world of tomorrow, to meet the multiples and all other forms of competition as successfully as we now are geared to do, then we have to pay attention to the ever-shrinking size of store in relation to the number of products we are expected to accommodate.
A.M. Cohen, the chairman of Victor Value, one of the most successful supermarket chains in the country.
The supermarket business necessitates high volume plus a reasonable profit, and sometimes we find that manufacturers come along to us with various items and say to us, we can offer you these goods, they'll make tremendous sales, and such are the profits that you will get. Well, what they consider reasonable profits and what we consider reasonable profits are not always the same thing. In many cases, we find that the profits they suggest are totally insufficient to pay the normal expenses of running the business. We have so many manufacturers who'll come along to us and say, we've got special promotions for you, we'll tailor them for you, and you'll create high volume for these particular products, and therefore increase your general sales all round. This is not always the truth.
R.J. Page, OBE, the chairman of Lipton's, a member of the Allied Suppliers Group, who have the largest number of retail stores in the country.
As far as Lipton is concerned, we have endeavoured to create an image which is primarily one of fresh foods. By this I mean meat and market garden and bakery and the like. Obviously, this has been very carefully coupled with manufacturers' offers. We're a great believer in highlighting all that the manufacturer has to offer, especially those that rely on clever advertising, television, press and the like. On the other hand, it is never our intention to take everything they offer, for the reason that this could clutter up our stores and would deviate from the image that we're endeavouring to create, being one of clarity, both for price and variety. We have a merchandising department who very carefully receive all manufacturers' offers and merchandising schemes, and they select from these those which they feel the public will be interested in and which will suit the Lipton image to which I've already referred.
All the time, the supermarket operator is making important choices between products, prices, competing demands on space. His choice is geared to the customer's choice. If he chooses well, his profits reflect the benefit, and his stores get the right kind of response from the customer. Then we went to the shopper, whose choice in the end decides relative success. What makes her go into a particular store? What makes her buy? What makes her buy more?
The first thing I look at when I come in here are the displays in the windows. Well, yes, because we walk all the way around it, and each thing you come to, you just remember what you want, like.
You see everything, and you remember things.
Do you come up with a shopping list?
Yes.
And you stick to it?
No. I go off it. I stick to it for my regulars, and then something will catch my eye and I'll have that. But at the same time, you get such a good variety, such a good choice, that you pick things that you wouldn't often think about putting on a shopping list at home. And I think this gives you a good variety in your larder, at the same time as taking some money out of your purse. Yeah.
Oh, yes, you usually come in, you know. You intend to spend £1. By the time you finish, you spend about 2.
Oh, no, I only buy what I really want and what I see is good value.
Are you good at prices?
Yes, very good.
Coffee? 3 and 6.
I paid 10p for yoghurt. And about after that, I am lost. Oh, yes, the ordinary things, tea and coffee and things like that, yes.
Can you remember the price of any of these things?
Yes,
No?
I can remember that tea is 1 and 5p. 1 and 5p halfpenny, I think, the brand I buy, yes.
Coffee?
Coffee, 2 and 4p a tin.
Sugar?
Probably about 1 and 4. Yes, my tea, sugar, butter, lard and eggs.
Can you give me those prices?
Well, sugar's £2 for 1 and 3 this morning. My tea was 1 and 4 a quarter. My margarine was 1 and 8p halfpenny a pound. So...
Any more?
Well, my baked beans were 6p halfpenny, as against 8p halfpenny as a rule. So I thought they were a gift.
Do you notice prices very carefully?
Yes, I do.
Can you remember the prices?
And I go along and put things back if one's more expensive than the other. I think I'm a supermarket menace.
Can't resist a bargain, and if I see anything going cheaply, I always, whether I need it or not, I always buy it and put it aside until I do need it.
A nice display. Things I haven't thought about at first. I see there, nicely built up, so I go and buy them. Because I know I'll use them sooner or later anyway.
We interviewed housewives all over the country in our efforts to build up a comprehensive picture of opinions. And we observed the shopper in action, in the actual buying situation, in the store. We measured what she bought and tried to understand her motives. We checked to see how far what she said was borne out by what she did.
Even if you're on the bus, you suddenly not thinking of anything, you look at it and think, oh, so-and-so peas down threepence. And you like those type of peas and you're going to buy them, aren't you? But you go in a supermarket, you can get ideas. Perhaps if you, and sometimes you go out, you're not quite sure, but you can stand in the supermarket and you can see so-and-so, oh yes, I think I'll have that today. You know, you're quite pleased with yourself.
Well, they seem to be, you know, they seem to give you exactly what you want.
I think the music is a very good idea, because it tends to relax you, I think. It's a very tense thing with shopping. Things that you use a lot, like, well, washing powder, you use that a lot, and bleachers. Coffee, they've started to do this with coffee, and tea. All these things are used, and sugar.
I think that I like going to the same shop every week because you know where everything is.
Oh yes, definitely, because you're trying to think what to get, and you're also looking at other things that you might fancy, and you're trying to work out how much you can afford.
Stand there and think, oh, whatever you're getting, 4 or 5 articles, they're £2 cheaper this week. And you can go inside and as I say, you can have a good look around. Nobody bothers you. You're not worried about somebody saying, yes, madam, can I help you, madam? That is what I like about it, the fact that you can, nobody interferes with you, and you can have a good look round.
I think, it's terrible temptation, I think, food shops. To me,
yeah.
They are to me. I mean, you can keep your cosmetics and your clothes, but if I go in a food shop, it's terrible. They haven't got baskets big enough for me.
We established the shopping pattern. It's clear that every week in her visit to the supermarket, certain key items occur again and again at the top of her list. She buys these regularly and often, whether she writes them down, remembers them, or whether the store reminds her. As we've heard, the shopper is extremely sensitive to price, but not over the whole range. Over these items, the ones she buys most often, thinks of most readily. It's quite clear that the way in which these items are presented will influence her choice of store. And of course, once inside the store, it's evident that she buys more than just these regular weekly items. And the more we watched, listened, measured, the more it became apparent that a key factor in determining the vital margin between the really successful and the also-rans was the choice what to feature and the extent and pricing of such features. So we decided to devote our detailed analysis to an examination of this particular area, the whole area of featuring. It took us to supermarkets and housewives all over the country. More than 7,000 housewives were interviewed at the start and end of their journey round the store. On the way in, we asked her what was she going to buy, and on the way out, we checked what she had bought. The results disclosed two significant facts. In the big volume selling markets, where there's little expansion, those housewives who had not intended to buy in a particular commodity group, but did so, chose, in the great majority of instances, the brand leader. So in these volume markets, the most effective way to turn potential buyers into actual buyers is to feature the brand leader. On the other hand, with those markets which are rapidly expanding their volume, the great majority of the uncommitted turn to the brand causing the expansion. Very often, these were new products with new concepts, meeting a need which hadn't before been realized. Consequently, they were attracting to the market new customers who were spending additional money and bringing in additional profit. In the rapidly expanding markets, therefore, there is considerable profit opportunity in featuring the dynamic brands which are causing the expansion, whether or not they're market leaders. Our investigations led us next to the question of price. We'd already established that to the housewife, price cutting spells bargains. For the operator, this is a very important area of choice, the depth of price cut. How much or how little to get the maximum extra custom with the maximum profit. First, we examined a widely held view that certain key prices like 1 and 5, 1 and 11, and 2 and 11 break price barriers. Are such price cuts more significant to the consumer? And do they make the maximum profit for the store? 3 products were chosen, a cleaner polisher, an orange squash, and a toilet tissue, each in its own price category, with an opportunity to break a different price barrier. All the tests were agreed beforehand with head office and store management. The prices selected were all within accepted chain buying margins. In different stores, the toilet tissue was sold at 1 and 8, 1 and 6, and 1 and 4 pence halfpenny. The cleaner polisher at 3 and 6, 3 shillings, and 2 and 11. The orange squash at 2 and 3, 2 shillings, and 1 and 11. In each case, once the price barrier was broken, there was a very significant increase in buying. The average results per store were as follows. With the orange squash, sales doubled. With the toilet tissue, sales rose 2.5 times, whilst with the cleaner polisher, sales were up by 1/3. But did it pay the store to make these cuts? Not in every case. Not even huge increases can always make up for the reduced margin. The sales of the orange squash jumped from 92 bottles to 185 by dropping the price from 2 shillings to 1 and 11. But the profit margin was then so low that 1 and 11 was obviously the least profitable price at which to sell. In this case, the highest price of 2 and 3 was the most profitable price, and 2 shillings proved to be a barrier not worth breaking, if it's profit you're after. But with the cleaner polisher, the lowest price, 2 and 11, earned the highest cash profit, and again with the toilet tissue, breaking the barrier at 1 and 6, earned the highest cash profit. These examples prove that every price cut is an important decision, and accurately forecasting buying reaction is vital before accepting reduced margins. There is clear evidence of price barriers which, if broken, will achieve a spectacular consumer reaction and in many cases bring increased cash profits to the store. But we were anxious to take things a stage further. What was the most profitable combination of pack size and price cut? Manufacturers, for obvious reasons, frequently want to push the big sizes, but the trade sometimes has doubts. So we selected a field with a multiplicity of competing brands and pack sizes. We made equal cuts of 2 below normal selling price on the giant and large sizes of each washing powder and measured the results. We then cut-priced the giant by 3 and the large by 1 penny. The second alternative, that is a 3 cut on giant and 1 penny off large, brought more sales than an equal price cut on both sizes and was 10% more profitable. We then tried to place a value on featuring for the supermarket operator. We considered this in terms of both extra cash profit and customer potential. We measured the results for 4 lines frequently featured. 2 lines commonly regarded as low margin but high volume, tea and competitively priced canned milk, and 2 high margin, lower volume lines, canned salmon and a large 8-ounce size of instant coffee. These were the results. In the case of the high volume lines, or the lines with high volume potential, tea and canned milk, a total of almost 500 extra units were sold by featuring. These 500 low margin units produced an extra 29 and 8p cash profit. In contrast, the low volume potential lines, canned salmon and 8-ounce instant coffee, sold only 100 extra units, but the margin on these produced an impressive 42 and 3p extra cash. These examples represent 2 extremes in the placing of a product on the balance between customer potential and cash profit. Some brands have little customer potential but can show an excellent profit for a small uplift in sales. Others may have considerable power to produce extra custom while still making a good profit. And these are the brands with greater flexibility, since they can be used to produce varying degrees of extra profit and additional customers. You can tip the balance to meet the needs of each store. Several of the products in the stock assortment which have this characteristic of flexibility also have another advantage, another factor which the store operator can play with in the search for profit or customer potential: consumer offers provided by the manufacturer. How far can this additional factor increase the flexibility and value of the product? To find out, we looked at soaps and detergents, heavily promoted products, and we took the leading washing powder. We carried out the same sort of test as that for tea, milk, salmon and coffee. First, we measured shelf sales at 3 and a penny, and then sale on display at 2 and 11, from the point of view of both profit and customer potential. The results established that with a product like this, a store price cut tapped existing customer potential and earned a healthy additional profit. Then, against this, we compared results obtained by adding a strong consumer offer, a free bowl, to a display selling at a normal price of 3 and a penny, and to a display, also with a free bowl, featuring a store price cut to 2 and 11. With the manufacturer's offer and the product sold at normal store prices, there was an even greater increase in profit, achieved by tapping a fair proportion of the customer potential. When a store price cut is added to the manufacturer's promotion, the highest proportion of customer potential is achieved, with only slightly less profit. In our investigations, then, we've established the key role which featuring plays in total store profitability. We've seen the importance of certain commodity groups, products, lines that the housewife is specially aware of. We've established her reaction in 2 main types of market. In the big volume selling markets, where there's little expansion, her choice tends to go to the brand leader. Featuring the brand leader can be the most effective way to turn potential buyers into actual buyers. In expanding markets, it's the dynamic brand that's worth featuring, the one causing the expansion. On certain products, we've seen the spectacular consumer reaction when price barriers are successfully broken. The increase in profit to be obtained from emphasizing the larger sizes when price cutting. And we've attempted to place a value on featuring for the supermarket operator and shown the contribution of the more flexible brands which can be played for customer potential or profit. But can we be sure, once a promotion has been agreed at head office, even if the brand is well chosen, the price selected for the right combination of profit and customer potential, the information passed on, can we be sure the store group derives maximum benefit? Many managers and representatives follow through with efficiency, loyalty and imagination, but does it always happen like this? An initial survey on one product chosen for promotion revealed a wide gap in performance between the stores which were good at follow-through and those which were less good. There was the same wide gap in cash gain. Those stores that failed to translate head office instructions into effective action lost out in cash terms. If all the stores in the group had done as well as the best stores, the store group as a whole would have earned 45% more in additional profit. They lost this extra 45% through bad stocking, poor pricing, half-hearted featuring. When it works, the system's fine. But how about when it doesn't? Such results were a challenge both to the trade and the manufacturer. So we decided to look for missed opportunities over a much wider range of products and in a greater number of stores. We did a detailed check of 54 supermarkets belonging to 4 groups during a typical promotional period. Chief buyers had nominated between 10 and 20 products which should have been on promotion. Researchers, carrying a list of these products, checked each store under these headings. Was the product in stock, either on display or on the shelf? Was the price there, whether on shelf or on display? Was it the correct selling price as laid down? Where store policy demanded it, was the promotion supported with window bills and window displays? To start with, none of the 54 stores had every promoted product in stock. And in some we found in stock, on the shelf or on display, only 5 products out of the 15 which should have been on promotion. On price marking, almost half the stores checked had 1 or more promotions wrongly priced. Understandable if local competition had forced a price lower than the laid-down price, in this instance 1 and 4. But at least 90 to 95% of incorrect prices were higher than those laid down by head office. When it was store policy to support promotions with window bills and window displays, often the best we could find was a bill for one promotion and a display for another. If, say, 8 window bills had been produced, some stores featured none at all. The best had 7 out of 8, although the more usual total was 4 window bills actually used, exactly half the intended coverage. With window displays, out of, say, 14 lines checked, it often happened that the highest number of displays found was less than half that, and several had none at all. But what happens inside the store when the housewife has been drawn in by the lines featured in the window? From the figures, we learned that in the best stores, only 2 out of 3 promotions agreed at head office were actually featured inside the store. In the worst examples, only 1 in 3. We didn't measure sales, but draw your own conclusions. Much profit is being lost. Much time and effort is being wasted. In one particular case, all the agreed promotions had window bills, and one product also had a window display. If these products had succeeded in catching the housewife's attention, the one thing she couldn't do inside the store was buy them, because the shampoo she was looking for was completely out of stock. And the same was true with the particular brand of biscuits. What's her reaction going to be? What sort of impression is she going to take away? A great deal remains her secret. She has the last word, and she has the power to do something about it.
Well, there it is. And we hope you have found it both an interesting and a stimulating study, and one that will help you in your business. And of course, we shall be pleased to let you have copies of the full printed report. We intend to continue with our researches, and we hope that in the future we shall be able to bring you further studies of this kind. In Lever Brothers and Associates, we believe that business progress, real progress, must surely follow sensible cooperation between retailer, wholesaler, and manufacturer.